All right, happy Thursday for you Cleveland Cavalier fans. A early Christmas present in the name of Donovan Mitchell. And for you Utah Jazz fans, a lot of draft capital coming your way. We are going to do a video. I've been putting some stuff out on Twitter based on the deal. We've got a lot of information here. Brian Windhorst is texting me. What is Brian? Well, I'll go into that little detail in a minute that I've been texting Brian with here. But I was actually going to see my son's swim meet. I thought we were all clear. Get off the highway, bang, boom, in the parking lot, turn around, come home, and here we are here. So we know the deal parameters. I posted the math on the board. Lauri Markkanen, Collin Sexton, sign and trade, 4 years, $72 million. And Ochai Agbaji from Kansas, their first-round pick, lottery pick, and 3 first-round picks, 2025, 2027, 2029, pick swaps in 26 and 28. Cleveland was not allowed to trade their 2023 first because that is going to Indiana, top 14 protected in the Karis LeVert trade. They were not allowed to do that. And then you have Donovan Mitchell coming back in the deal, of course, as we traded, we talked about. Mitchell's got a $1.6 million trade bonus. He's under contract for the next 4 years. He's got a player option in that last year of your contract. If you are Utah, you are banking on, and I said this in the text, that Mitchell is going to leave in free agency, or this Cleveland team is going to be looking like a lot different than it currently is right now, because right now it is a playoff team here. So when you look at when those picks are going to come to fruition, 2025, Donovan Mitchell has got a player option. 2027, who knows who is on this roster? Probably the only one would be Darius Garland for right now, and probably Evan Mobley on an extension. Pick swaps in 2026, 2028. I think it's more than what the Jazz were going to be able to get from the Knicks. I think when you are dealing with some of these mid-market teams, whether it be Minnesota and whether it be Cleveland, that is not a free agent destination that basically you have to retain. There's probably a higher percentage that these picks are going to turn out either in the lottery or in the teens. And I think for New York, certainly based on the market appeal, based on to be able to draw free agents, I know they have not had much luck. I think what Utah, for me, if I'm in that Jazz front office, the Cleveland picks have more value, the unprotected first, than what the Knicks have to offer here. So when you look at it certainly from a contract perspective, I talked about Mitchell here as far as what he has left on his contract. Cleveland's got 13 players on guaranteed contracts, 2 on non, Dean Wade, Lamar Stevens. They are $2.5 million under the luxury tax. So you get Donovan Mitchell, you stay under the tax. You go from, I don't want to put a label on this group here, but I think you're a lot closer to contending with the big boys, whether it be Boston, Philly, Miami, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, than you were competing with some of these teams, New York, Atlanta, to get into the play-in tournament here. Hey, there's still a chance that this Cleveland team is in the play-in. There's no guarantee you're going to be in the top 6, but it gives you a better chance right now than it did yesterday to compete with some of these teams that I just mentioned here. Small backcourt with Mitchell and Garland. Certainly the concern is on defense, but when you have 2 all-NBA type defensive players in Mobley and certainly Jared Allen, that covers up a lot of your deficiencies here. You've got a closer. You've got a closer who's 25 years old. You've got him for at least 3 years. This gives you a chance. You did not have a chance. You were not competing with some of these other teams yesterday. This gives you a chance right now. Here's one of the downside, and I think it's something to worry about 3 years from now. Because Darius Garland signed a 5-year designated rookie extension, right? We're talking about this now. And you acquire Donovan Mitchell, who signed a designated rookie extension in Utah. You are not allowed right now to sign Evan Mobley in the 2024 offseason to a 5-year designated rookie extension. You can still sign Evan Mobley to a 5-year deal when he becomes a restricted free agent in the 2025 offseason. You can, similar to what Brandon Ingram did in New Orleans, you could still sign Evan Mobley to a 4-year rookie max extension and have all NBA criteria in, similar to what Pascal Siakam did in Toronto. But for right now, and I know it's 3 years or 2 years from now, because Mitchell was acquired and because Garland signed, you cannot have 3 players that sign these designated rookie extensions. So basically, one or two things you're going to have. One of these 2 players is not going to be here, or that Mobley is going to have to wait until the 2025 offseason when he is a restricted free agent to sign that 5-year max. So that's something to worry about down the road. I'm not going to go into detail, but I think it is interesting to kind of point that out as far as where they are. And I think for Cleveland's perspective, you basically swapped out, from a player standpoint, you swapped out Lauri Markkanen for Donovan Mitchell. Agbaji wasn't there yet last year. He was in Kansas. Sexton was injured, and we can talk about the picks later. So you upgraded your roster right now, and I think it gives you, as I said, it gives you a better chance to compete with the big boys compared to where you were yesterday. For Utah, you basically tore down the house, and now you're going to be building it up with draft capital, major league draft capital. 2025 unprotected, 27 unprotected, 29 unprotected. We know all these picks that are coming from Minnesota in the Gobert trade. That's 6 unprotected. Another pick as far as that is lightly protected from Minnesota. Pick swaps, basically 2 players in Walker Kessler and Ochai Agbaji. Markkanen is coming off probably one of his best years in Cleveland. Well, was just sending me an email. I'm like trying to do 900 things here. Sexton, 4 years, $72 million. It's all guaranteed. Prior to the injury, borderline all-star, right? So that's how you have to think about it from Sexton's perspective. These 3 players are more keepers compared to Patrick Beverley and Malik Beasley and Leandro Bolmaro, and I think Jared Vanderbilt's a keeper. So you've got 17 players on guaranteed contracts. Who's next? We'll talk about that in a minute. But you have torn down the house, and now you are going to rebuild it with draft capital. Markkanen, 16.5, 17.3, 18 million. Last year, it's got $6 million guaranteed. Talked about Sexton on that 4-year deal. He had base year in the deal. I wrote it up on the big whiteboard as far as how that works from a money perspective. Agbaji's got 4 years on a rookie extension, a rookie contract, not extension. So you've got him for the next 4 years. You've got to figure out what your roster spots are going to be. You're at $1.7 million in tax. You're roughly, I got to do the math because of bonuses, you're about $7 or $8 million below the hard cap. Hard cap has triggered because Sexton was acquired in a sign and trade. What is next? Who is next to go? If I'm Danny Ainge, I'm calling Rob Pelinka right now. Maybe not right now, probably after the trade call. And I'm going to offer you Conley, Bogdanovic, and Rudy Gay for Westbrook and that 2027 and 2029 first-round pick. I'll even say this to you. Rob, you want a top 1 or 2 protected in 2027? Feel free to. No protection in 2029. In 2027, it turns into 3 seconds. That's what I would do if I'm that Utah. That's the next move, is to kind of build up your draft equity. Bogdanovic's on an expiring contract. He's not part of your future. Conley's got 2 years left, a partial next year. He's not part of your future. You keep on shedding and building and building and building here. And we will probably end this offseason when we get to training camp with this Jazz team having 15 first-round picks, 16 first-round picks. Who knows where this is going to go? So I understand the frustration from the Jazz fans. We were the best team in the NBA in the 2020-21 season. We lose in the second round to the Clippers. Certainly disappointing. You lose to Dallas. You're returning a high-priced roster. Either you're going to pivot, you're either going to kind of go status quo, and hopefully you put a Band-Aid on things and things get better, or you basically tear it down and you start building it up with draft capital. So that is my 10-minute video on the Donovan Mitchell trade. Hopefully everyone is doing well out there, and we will talk soon.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.